Hello, my name is METİN ARIDAŞIR. This is 294th part of explanation of my theory. According to my theory and my formulas. Compton's Bobo fake formula, relationship between galactic redshift and Compton experiment results. Yes. No matter what you do with this formula, lambda final, wavelength final, will be greater than wavelength initial. That's why this formula is, according to me, a Bobo formula. But this is not the case. This formula is wrong because it shows final wavelength is always greater than initial wavelength. Whereas here molybdenum, or here this spike, characteristic line, according to my theory, characteristic line emissions come from proton-bound electron motion form as a single wave pulse, and continuous spectrums come from moving free electron motion forms. And when this single wave pulse point coincide with a point on moving electron motion form, electron motion forms points are variable speed of light, variable velocity of light, variable mass, variable energy, etc., variable wavelength. But characteristic lines, emission lines from proton-bound electron motion form is not variable, and their enlarging speed, expanding speed is constant c. But moving electron motion forms point light velocity, of course, can exceed speed of light. For instance, opposite motion direction. Okay. This formula is wrong because it shows lambda final. Final wavelength is always greater than lambda initial, wavelength initial. Whereas molybdenum K alpha emission light with 0 point snapshot, 0.071 nanometer, and its corresponding energy are not in the 0 degree direction as a characteristic line spike on the continuous spectrum, but in accepted physics theories, wrongly, this is part of big picture. But accepted physics theories don't see this continuous spectrum. Okay? They see only this, and arbitrarily they start 0 degree direction. Molybdenum 0.071 nanometer key alpha emission line. Okay. This is 0 degree. Then they put a detector and they measure through 130 or greater angles, of course, through the right wavelength enlarges and energy decreases. And they say when photon strikes to an electron, it loses part of its energy and its wavelength enlarges. This is not the case because here molybdenum K alpha is not indicate 0 degree, maybe 30 degree. Here reality that I put forward, that I show. Yes, molybdenum K alpha emission light with 0.0709 nanometer and its corresponding energy are not in the 0 degree direction here. This is reality, big picture that I show you now. As a characteristic line spike on the continuous spectrum of moving electron, its position is greater than 0 degree angle, maybe 30 degrees, like this, maybe 30 degrees, 30 degrees. Here, electron motion forms, moving electron motion forms, motion direction is 0 degree. Opposite direction is 180 degrees. Here, perpendicular direction is 90 degree. Here, continuous spectrum, just this point, wavelength doesn't change. Wave velocity doesn't change, but behind of 90 degree, electron motion forms waves, wave velocity exceeds speed of light, front of 90 degrees, wave velocity drop under speed of light, and like this. Yes, its position is greater than 0 degree angle, maybe 30 degrees, maybe 40 degrees, but here 30 degrees, say, and there is a possibility to coincide with the continuous spectrum in real 0 degrees or close to 0 degrees. Therefore, there is possibility this spike like shift to or change its position through the 180 degree side. It is possible and it's actual. Actually, it can go through 0 degree. As they do like this. Why not? And when it does, this molybdenum K alpha wavelength narrows and it gains energy. It doesn't lose energy when coincide with electron or electrons wave, point wave. Okay. This is contradicts with relativity and relativistic template of Compton experiment. Compton experiment is one of the proof my theory and my formulas. In fact, by the way, yes, and there is a possibility to coincide with the continuous spectrum in real 0 degrees or close to 0 degrees. Therefore, key alpha wavelength would be narrower as a final wavelength, and its final energy would increase, contrary Compton scattering photon energy losing definition and description. I explained that the galactic redshift, my previous videos, I explained that the galactic redshift, space doesn't expand, is the result of the interaction of two radically different types of light from light sources in different conditions. One of these types of light waves can exceed speed of light and variable, another one at constant speed of light. Compton effect also gets its share from this interaction. It happens with this interaction. Eventually, contrary accepted physics theories, Compton effect is not the result of light-object interaction. Compton effect is the result of wave, photon, according to me and in my terminology, photon is every inseparable point on an electron motion form or its waves. Eventually, contrary to accepted physics theories, Compton effect is not the result of light-object interaction. Compton effect is the result of light wave or photon interaction. Moreover, there are no energy interactions and energy exchanges that are inversely proportional to each other. Whereas in accepted physics theories, when a photon strikes an electron, it loses part of its energy and momentum by giving this part of its energy to an electron. This is not the case. A point of single wave pulse from proton-bound electron motion form acts in harmony with every point that it coincides with electron's wave. Single wave pulse's point energy mimics moving free electron motion forms variable energy in all directions. Okay? Have a good evening. See you later. I will go on, of course.